A doorbell camera caught one person slipping. Wait for it. Oh, no.
I hate it when that
and
happens.
then 10 minutes later, his roommate did the same thing.
Oh, no.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Don't worry, they're both okay.
Yes. Well,
he actually called her and said, "It's slippery."
Yeah, be careful.
I don't know if she remembered. I don't know.
She's probably like, yeah, right, whatever.
Yes, it was bad though. We're going through some of your snow day photos and videos in just a minute.
All right, first we do want to check in with Marty. Marty, it played out pretty much as we expected.
Yeah, it did. Unfortunately, it was really slick. That just hurt watching that video. It's still icy out there this morning. We have areas of light snow here and there up and down the Front Range. That's going to continue here during the morning and down. These are late evening reports from around the area. Some of the better snow, obviously, in and around Boulder from last night. We'll get some new ones once folks get up and start measuring again here in about an hour and a half. We'll get some new measurements for you. Snow continues in southern Colorado. Look for light snow, very icy as we hang out in the low teens today. As far as additional snow goes, up to an inch around here from the west and north side of Boulder and Golden into the foothills, slightly more than that.
This morning's drive definitely slick, but so far, so good. I don't have any wood to knock on, but let's not jinx that. Let's keep things moving along really smoothly. This is a look at I-25 near Santa Fe. We do have pretty decent driving conditions along the roads, but certainly some icy spots. It's a 16 to 18 minute drive between downtown and the tech center, both north and southbound, with no major accidents in the way. Eastbound I-70 running at about 10 minutes with speeds averaging close to 50 miles per hour. That's that stretch from I-25 to 225. 6th Avenue, a 12-minute drive, and C-470 through Highlands Ranch running 14 minutes. But see, most folks driving quite a bit slower than what we would typically see on a clear morning. We'd like to keep that going so we can keep the accident count to a minimum. Liz Kodalik is out at 225 in Aurora right now. Good morning, Liz. How are things looking out where you are?
Hey, good morning, Becky. Good morning, everyone. We are loving I-225 right now. Look how great this looks. Yeah, there's some snow that's on the side of the interstate, but really you can see the lines in the road and not a ton of snowpack and really not a ton of ice that we have seen. We know this because we got cut off a few minutes ago, and when we hit the brakes, we were able to stop abruptly, so that's good. But that does not mean that there aren't patches of ice elsewhere on your drive, and we can see that a lot of people, as Becky was saying, a lot of people are driving very slowly, which is very good. So be careful. So right now, I-225 wins in terms of road conditions in the metro area. I-25 looks good too. Same goes for 6th Avenue. But if C-470 is a part of your drive, you will definitely experience a lot of ice and snowpack if you're headed out the door right now. It wasn't too bad around Broadway, but it was pretty dicey around Kipling. So keep that in mind if that is part of your drive. We're going to be heading on to I-70 right now to check out that interstate, see how that looks for you. In the meantime, my friend and colleague Eddie Randall is live now in Boulder, and there is a ton more snow in that area.
Thank you, Liz. I just love saying that. Yeah, we're in Boulder. We're in the Pearl Street Mall this morning. And yeah, you can see how much snow has actually fallen out here this morning, and it's still falling. Now, one thing you guys are going to want to make sure that you keep in mind as you're getting out is the sidewalks are still pretty slick. Even though the city has been out plowing these areas, you can see they are pretty clear, but I was just rubbing my feet across them, and I can, definitely feel, the slippery sensation under me. So that's what you're going to want to make sure you keep in mind. Also, if you're driving, that's something we saw, especially when we were on 36, as we passed that little scenic overlook area. That's when the snowpack really start to pick up, and that's when we had to make sure that we were driving the speed limit, driving slow, slowing down because of the traction. So we're going to stay out here in this area that looks just amazing because of all the snow it got, but we're going to check back in with you guys at the top of our 6 o'clock hour. Corey?
All right, Eddie, thank you. A quick reminder that the 9 News app can help you keep track of the forecast, any closures or traffic problems it causes. It's free on the app and the Google Play stores. Right now, snow plows are out all over the metro area. Look at all of them. You're looking live at where they are this morning. I saw several on my way in today. To find out where the plows are near you, you can go to cotrip.org. And this morning we're seeing many closures and delays. About 200 schools are canceled or delayed, most of them delayed. Some of the big ones: Adams 12 5-star on a 2-hour, Jeffco Public Schools on a 2-hour, Aurora Public on 1 hour, Cherry Creek Elementary on 1 hour, middle school and high school for Cherry Creek 90 minutes, DPS 2-hour delay, and Dougco Public Schools 90-minute delay. You can visit 9news.com for the latest on all of those delays and closures.
It is 5:35. This is the news in 90 seconds. First, a generator caught fire at an oil production site, but that fire has now been put out. More than 24 firefighters helped put it out. The fire was on County Road 38. Platteville Fire says the flames were 30 feet high at one point. Nobody was injured. We're following the latest on the coronavirus. Now more than 20,000 people are sick in China. 425 have died. A hospital was built in 10 days in Wuhan. It is now treating up to 1,000 patients. The U.S. plans to evacuate more Americans at the center of the outbreak. China says the U.S. response to the virus is causing panic there.
I'm Tracy Potts on Capitol Hill, where the president comes tonight to deliver his State of the Union message. Big question: how much will he talk about impeachment? He has said he wants to focus on his accomplishments, likely leaning heavily on the economy and low unemployment, areas that continue to draw strong support even in the middle of this trial. But the trial isn't over. Some lawmakers saying he should focus on the economy because there's not much of an appetite for a big speech about impeachment.
Conservative radio host Rush Limbaugh told his audience that he is suffering from lung cancer. The 69-year-old will have to take time off from his radio show for treatment. He says that his only symptom right now is a shortness of breath. And finally, the world's tallest building lit up to honor basketball legend Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter Gigi. Tourists gathered around the building in Dubai. It shined bright, showing a picture of dad and daughter. And that is your news in 90.
And trending this morning, you were trending this morning. We're sharing your snow day pictures and videos here on the show, and here are some that we've received so far. So this doorbell camera caught one person slipping outside of their home Monday morning. Okay, just watch. Here it comes. Oh, yeah, he ate it. Then just moments later, a second person, his roommate, also took a tumble in the same spot. We can laugh here because Corey just admitted that this has also happened to her, and you slipped under the car.
Yeah, I didn't just slip, I went under the car.
Yeah, we've all been there,
Yeah.
so it's very icy. Marty's been saying you want to take it easy. Oh, I love these pictures you've been getting and videos. This pug, he looks kind of... He had a little cough. I love his beanie. Very cute. Or her beanie. We don't know. And we've been getting a lot of dog photos. That's my favorite. You know, at least someone enjoys being out there in the snow. A lot of photos. So make sure to be very careful leaving for work this morning. If you do have a photo or video, you can send it to us. Share them on Facebook or email them to yourtake@9news.com. What, your dogs like the snow or more indoor dogs?
My dog hates the snow.
Yeah, she'll look out and be like,
Yeah.
I'm good. All set. I'll wait.
Clarence can do his business in 10 seconds flat. Boom, back in the house.
Oh, gosh.
Yesterday, Kimura almost ran me over trying to get back in so quick.
It happens.
Yeah.
All right, we want to check the weather.
Hey guys, good morning. We are out here in the 9 News backyard. I'm meteorologist Kylie Burst. Brought the hot tea out here because it is so chilly. We've got that really light, pretty snow that's been coming down. But I just want to let you know we are going to be hopping on Facebook Live here in just a minute on the KUSA Facebook page. I'm answering all of your weather and traffic questions. But if you can't make the live one, that's okay. You can send me an email at weather@9news.com, or you can find me on social media.
As you're headed out the door, west side certainly seeing a lot more snowpack than we are here around the central parts of the city. Still that drive for folks headed eastbound from 6th Avenue into from Golden into Denver looks pretty good. Speeds averaging 52 miles per hour. That drive will take you about 10 minutes. I-70 eastbound, we've got 47 mile per hour speeds, also a 10-minute drive. C-470 through Highlands Ranch. 50 mile per hour speeds, that's a 14-minute drive. So it looks like 50 is what everybody's feeling comfortable with. That is good. It's a good number below the speed limit this morning. Let's keep it that way. So far, so good, Corey. No major accidents.
All right, Becky, thank you. Still no results from Iowa. Candidates are looking ahead to New Hampshire. NBC's Wendy Wolfork has the latest.
Somehow, some way, I'm going to get on a plane tonight to New Hampshire.
Chaos at the Iowa caucuses.
I imagine, have a strong feeling that at some point the results will be announced.
We're here in the 9 News Weather Center on our first snowy morning in a while. It's been so long, but officially we did get a good amount of snow, and you might be running into a little bit of trouble on the road. So I want to answer any questions that you have. So if you throw them in the comments, I will try and answer as many as I can. Let me go ahead and just pull that up. I got my laptop over here too. But while I'm pulling that up, let me just show you kind of the latest of what we're looking at as far as the snow that's falling right now. So you can see that we've got just a little bit left over. Really light snow coming down in the Denver metro area, a little bit heavier out toward Aurora. If you're on I-70 toward Byers, you might run into some heavier snow there. But otherwise, it's really just those very, very light snowflakes. I was just out in the 9 News backyard, and I will tell you that those flakes are so tiny. They're not really adding a whole lot more. In fact, as far as how much more we can expect, pretty minimal, up to an inch when we're looking at the rest of today. And this is really going to wrap up here pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and take you through your forecast today. Again, a few flakes throughout the morning. And then we get into this evening and we really start to see some clearing. Temps right now, it is chilly. 12 degrees in Denver and Fort Collins. We are in the single digits up in the high country in Greeley, just about 14 degrees there. And for today, I mean, we're really not going to be a lot warmer. Check it out. We're only going to be reaching into the upper teens by later on this afternoon. So some light snow this morning. That is going to give way to just some cloudy conditions and then a little bit of clearing by later on today. All right, looks like you guys are asking for a couple of spots. So I'm seeing from they moved through pretty quickly. Oh, I'm seeing our questions about late starts and delays. All of those are on our website. I believe it's 9news.com/closings. And in fact, actually, if you scroll down, it's the next story here on this Facebook page, and you can check all of them out, which might help out just a little bit. Seeing light snow in Brighton so far this morning. But I can pull up your traffic maps because I do have access to those too. And Becky's on right now doing traffic. So let's take a look. Sorry, my computer's being a little slow this morning. Come on. Oh, it's really slow. All right. Everyone's saying good morning. You guys are the best. Good morning to all of you. Okay, so far I saw Boulder, I believe, to Longmont. And we're looking pretty good. I haven't seen specifically how 119 is looking, but I'm not seeing any major issues there. And actually on 36, we're in pretty good shape. What I've seen is mostly when I was driving in, the main streets are in decent shape. It's really those side streets that you're running into some problems. But it looks like we've got a crash over here. And I can just kind of put a little question mark guy on. We can find out more about him. This is on Buckley Road right near 121st and Circle Drive. So Steph was asking about the roads, and yeah, it just depends. Some of those main roads are doing a lot better than the side streets. The side streets I was slipping a little bit. Loveland to Jackson, Wyoming. Let's take a look here. We're going to travel a little bit farther north. All right, so we are in good shape. And now I can't take a specific look at how the roads are doing, but I-25 has really been pretty good. You're definitely going to want to leave yourself a little extra time. Oh, I should look at where is Jackson? Are we talking Jackson Hole, Wyoming? Because then it looks like there is a closure on I-80 going from Cheyenne up toward Laramie, and then it's closed both directions that way. So if we're talking Jackson Hole, that's definitely going to be a problem. You're going to have to take I-25 up and then cut over, which I can't remember. I haven't driven that drive in a while. Usually I think I go down and take I-80, but you might have to go up and then go around. Okay. Anyone else? Good morning from Highlands Ranch. Stay safe, everyone. I love that. Steph is asking if the roads are icy. They definitely are in some spots. But the good news is, I mean, really, I didn't run into a lot of issues. There are wet roads out there. So my concern would be more for bridges and overpasses where we do start to see some freezing that happens there. So, you guys are so welcome. Always happy to help answer your questions. If you're just joining us, we are talking about, of course, snow and cold and traffic on the roads, and we'll be answering them all morning long. If we don't get to yours specifically, because I scroll through pretty fast, you can always email me, weather@9news.com. So our winter weather advisories still in effect for another 15 minutes or so, but then they're really going to start to settle. But we're not really looking at much more snow expected. If anything, just up to less than an inch. So that is going to be something that we'll keep an eye out for, but otherwise we are looking like we're in pretty decent shape. That snow did what it was supposed to do. A lot of people are taking it slow and easy on the roads or just taking advantage from working from home. So wonderful to see that. If you guys do have any other questions, I'm going to be back on here within the next little bit. Looks like, one more question. I-25 from Colorado Springs to Denver. Let's check that out. All right. Springs to Denver, we are looking good. If you're going north, looks like you might be pumping the brakes just a little bit once you're getting toward Monument. And then we've got one crash on I-25 just toward Castle Pines North, but I'm not seeing that causing any backups or delays. What time do I wake up to go to work? Way too early in the morning, anywhere from 1 to 3 o'clock in the morning. Really big flakes coming down in Greeley. Thanks for that report. I really appreciate it. Let me see what it's looking like in Greeley. Oh, yep, you must be in this little pocket right here where we've got some bigger flakes. All right, so really appreciate all of your questions. I'll be back on here within the next hour, and you can find me on social media if you want as well. That's another great way to ask questions on Twitter, on Instagram. I'm going to be here all morning long. Marty's going to be on TV. Becky's handling traffic on TV as well. So let me know if you have any specific questions, and we'll try and answer them. And I will see you back here within the next hour.
They say if you don't like the weather, just wait 10 minutes.
Or just wait a day. Our pseudo-spring is over. Winter weather has come back. One night, 7 candidates, no winners. The Iowa caucus ended in chaos with Democrats unable to finish their count right now. President Trump's impeachment trial is paused for the day while he gives his State of the Union address tonight.
It is getting here about 20 to 22 hours.
So from Japan to
here.
your plate,
Yeah.
22 hours.
Yes.
Incredible.
It's the freshest fish in Denver. This morning, Kylie taking us to Sushi Den. 9 News 6 a.m. starts right now with Corey Rose. I'm Gary Shapiro, Natasha Verma, and meteorologist Marty Caniglio.
And we are taking a live look right now, Spear and Logan, just outside the 9 News studios. We've got snow-packed and icy roads this morning. It is so cold outside. Show us how you're spending this snowy morning. Maybe spending an extra few minutes in bed.
Lucky.
That would be smart.
Right.
And then we got tons of puppy photos. They woke up early to play in the powder, apparently. And keep posting your photos and videos. Use the hashtag 9WX.
That pug that keeps coming up with the
Yes.
beanie
It's so
on.
cute.
I love it.
So sweet.
I guarantee you my pup is the one in bed.
Yeah.
Not out playing in the snow.
100%.
We
Yeah.
had
Right
so
idea.
much fun yesterday afternoon walking, my dog and I.
Oh, so you're
Oh, we saw
the one that
photos
can-
of him.
He is so
Yeah.
happy.
Lucky.
He
Mine
loves
too.
snow.
So like a normal
Very
dog.
happy dogs.
That's nice.
Like a normal dog.
That's cool. By the way, there are more than 200 closing and delays this morning. They're scrolling along the bottom of your screen. You can also go to 9news.com and check them out there.
Yeah.
All right. In the meantime, this is going to be moving out soon, it sounds like, but the cold's staying. Right?
Yeah, the cold isn't going anywhere, so do please be prepared for that. And it is really icy. We saw that video, folks slipping on their sidewalk and down their steps, and just be careful this morning around here. Again, icy roads over much of the area. It's really cold. The snow is continuing. It's light, however. I think about 90% of what you're going to get, you have gotten, as most of the energy of this storm is now shifted down to southern Colorado. I have highlighted one spot on here. Can you notice it? That's the National Weather Service office in Boulder at 11.3 inches of snow, by far and away the most we've had. These are late night reports, by the way. We'll get some more here in about an hour when the observers get up and start reporting. So it's icy and snowy this morning. Becky, I would think everybody's going to start going a little more slowly.
Yeah, and we are also hitting those slick spots, and we've got one person who spun around to the opposite direction on eastbound 6th Avenue. That's near Federal. They've got the camera now flipped around in a different direction, but we were seeing some of those delays and that problem in place, so that's going to cause you, again, some additional delays this morning as you're headed eastbound at 6th Avenue right at Federal. The other problem spot, a crash that's reported at northbound I-25 at Colorado. I could actually see it, though, under the bridge from our Evans camera as we took a look at the CDOT cameras there. So not sure which lane that's located in, but we are seeing some minor delays as folks get out and about and through that area this morning.
Becky, thank you. It is so cold out there. We've got single-digit wind chills right now. Most of the snow is over by now, but you're going to see a few more flakes falling today, especially in certain areas. Eddie Randall is live in Boulder, and Eddie, I see the snowflakes coming down there.
Yeah, they definitely are falling still, Corey. And yes, you're right, it is cold. I was just talking to Matt Bell, who's behind the camera, and we checked it. It said it was about 12 degrees out here, and it definitely feels extremely cold. But let's talk about the snow that's falling out here in Boulder. Boulder is an area that got a lot of snow, and you can see it out here. Now, as we were driving on I-25 and 36 this morning to get to this area, one of the problems were the snow-packed roads once you got past that overlook. Then, once we got here to the Pearl Street Mall where you can see us right now, this is what we're experiencing, just kind of like slick sidewalks. But I will tell you, in my last live shot, I mentioned that the sidewalks are very slick, and within about 10-15 minutes, someone came out and salted it. So I'm not sure if that person works for the city or what, but thank you so much, because it's not slippery out here anymore. We're going to stay out in this area as the snow continues to fall, and we'll check back in with you in a few minutes in our next half hour. For now, we're going to toss it out to Liz Kodalik, my colleague, who is inside of a really, really warm live truck driving around the Denver metro area. Good morning, Liz.
Good morning, Eddie. Yeah, you drew the short straw this morning. Nico Goda and I feel pretty lucky to be so warm inside of here right now. We are right now headed on to I-70. We'll be there in a few minutes, or even probably less than that here. So right now, I think this is, where are we? Is this Quebec or Northfield or Central Park? Yes, one of those roads. And you can see there's a little bit of snowpack, and there is some ice that's on the roads right now on the side streets. And this is what most of the side streets in the Denver metro area look like at this point. I-70, we were on it not too long ago, and it looks great. You're going to see here in a second that not a ton of snowpack. A lot of that snow that you're going to see is on the side of the roads. You're going to be able to see all of those lines in the roads as well. 225 was the same. I-25 was the same. C-470, a much different story, though. We were on that about an hour ago. Much more snowpack and a lot more ice. A viewer, Kathy Venter, wants us to head back over in that direction. She says she's headed to DIA this morning, and she wants to know what that drive looks like. So, Corey, we give the people what they want. We're headed back to that area, so we'll let you know what that looks like here, hopefully shortly.
I love that. Answering the call. Liz, thank you. CDOT wants you to stay away from that Gap construction zone in Douglas County. Traffic is always really tough down there. Throw in the snow, and it's a mess. Even before the road was covered Monday, a crash stopped traffic southbound. CSP says 2 semis and 2 other cars were involved, and everyone is expected to be okay.
And if you're looking to take a flight this morning, we're keeping a close eye on the FlightAware's misery map. So far, we're looking at 13 delays, but it has been refreshing this morning. Almost 5 cancellations this morning, too, at DIA, and that doesn't include the hundreds of flights that were delayed and canceled on Monday. John Glasgow is at the airport keeping an eye on things. Hey, John, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Natasha. Yeah, we're seeing those delays start to increase, but that is due to the de-icing of the planes. The cancellations haven't changed, and that's a good thing. As you mentioned, there were more than 170 flights canceled yesterday, so we're watching to see if there's going to be a backlog. We've had that happen in past storms where a lot of the planes get grounded, and then the next day is just a disaster trying to get out. But this morning, things are going pretty good. I'm watching the security line here behind me, and it's only roughly around a 10 to 15-minute wait to get through there, which is pretty much average if you're here at DIA. And also looking to see how many people have been staying in the airport. There's been a few of them, but not too many so far. We did catch up with a few travelers that had some issues, but they're hoping to get out this morning, and we wish them well, and we're going to keep following this and see if there's any more problems here. We'll send it over to you, Natasha.
All right, John, thank you. And you can download the 9 News app to keep track of the winter weather and any closures or traffic problems that it might be causing. It's free on the app and Google Play stores.
6 after 6 right now. Time for more of your top stories in the morning rush. Overnight, dozens of firefighters in Weld County battled huge flames and frigid snow, blowing snow after a fire broke out on an oil well site. It was near County Road 38 and 35. Platteville and Gilcrest, also LaSalle crews found the flames more than 30 feet high and 50 feet wide. All employees were evacuated. Nobody was hurt. Firefighters finished putting out the fire just before 4:30 this morning. An update now to the plane crash on DOC property in Canyon.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Liz Kodalik here. Nico Goda is behind the wheel, photojournalist extraordinaire. 6:06 on your Tuesday morning, and we are on I-70 right now, headed westbound. We are about to approach Colorado. So things look great on I-70 this morning. We kind of started around 225 and headed this direction, and this is what this whole stretch has looked like so far. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, you can a little bit, that you can see the lines in the road. There's not a ton of snowpack on I-70. A lot of the snow that you're going to see is off to the side as the snow is continuing to fall down, though, but it's very, very light. There will be some icy spots on your drive, so don't let the fact that this looks pretty clear make you think that, you know, it's completely clear of ice, because we know how this works, right? As people get on the road, as those tires start kind of melting things, it is so cold outside that sort of residue, or whatever you want to call it, is going to freeze over. So just be careful. Nico was actually taking this road on his way to work this morning. Of course, that was a few hours ago, but he did see somebody who had spun out. So keep in mind, we all know this. This is a possibility after a storm like we saw yesterday, and that storm is continuing into today, although most of the storm happened last night. Marty's saying about 90% of the snow that's going to fall in this storm has already fallen, but you can see a little bit is still falling here on I-70 as we are headed westbound. So we've been all over the place this morning. We were on I-25. That looked pretty similar to what you were looking at right now. 225 was a much better drive than anything that we had seen so far. It's really C470 that was giving the problems this morning, giving us at least the problems this morning. There was a lot more snowpack. There was a lot more ice. We were kind of dealing with more dicey conditions in that area, which you would expect because of where C470 is located. And especially, earlier and even right now, those stretches of C470, if you drive it, you know that there are some stretches that don't have a ton of light on them. So on top of the fact that it's just hard to see in general, there was a lot more snowpack and more ice. So keep that in mind. Again, if you're just joining us, we're on I-70 right now. We are approaching Colorado Boulevard, and this is what it looks like. And it's really nice for the most part. Not a lot of snowpack. There will be some ice that you're going to have to deal with, but really a pretty good looking drive, which is the same for a lot of your Metro drive this morning, which is great news. CDOT did a really great job of plowing before you got on the roads, but still you want to take it slowly. You can see the people moving in the eastbound direction. There are a lot more cars and more volume on that side, although this is a pretty slow drive too. So that's going to help you stay safe out there. Most of this portion of I-70, you're going to have no choice but to be stop and go because of the volume. So that's at least some good news, help you keep you safe this morning. But for the most part, things are looking really great. It is going to be so cold. Marty's talking about very, very cold temperatures this morning. Right now our car is saying it's what? It doesn't show. Great. So I'm not sure what the temperature is out there now, but we have had to go outside a few times, and it is cold. And you know what that means? As I mentioned earlier, things are going to ice over. I can kind of see a little bit of a shine on the roads right now. Not sure if that's ice or not. I'm going to treat it like it is, of course. But even if that is just snow melt from all of these tires going over the snowpack, you know what that means. It's going to freeze over at some point. It's going to be very cold today, so ice may be a problem for you throughout the day. Of course, we're going to continue to monitor that. We're having to put a bunch of washer fluid on our windshield right now because we're getting a tiny little bit of splashback. Not like we've seen in previous storms, that's for sure. And that's something that I always tend to do when I'm doing these sorts of live shots, is I compare, this drive to a drive that we had seen prior after another storm. I think the last storm that we got was, I don't know, about a month ago, and that was pretty intense. You remember that one where we had 6th Avenue that was shut down for a while, and things were much, much dicier out there. So this is a better drive than the last big storm that we saw. But that still doesn't mean that you're not going to experience some of those icy roads. So just keep that in mind. Again, this is I-70. It looks pretty good. I-25 looks good too. We drove 225. That looked fine. But there will be icy spots. C470, that's been the part of your Metro drive that it was a little bit dicier as we passed the Purina plant right now. So we are going to continue to drive all across the metro area. We had a viewer who wanted us to check out C470 again. So that's where we're headed right now to see if conditions have improved. We were there about an hour and a half ago, and it wasn't fun. So we're going to see if that's changed. Hopefully it has. And we're going to be live every 30 minutes on Channel 9 until 7 o'clock, and then every 30 minutes from 7 to 9 on Channel 20. Please stay
house in Commerce City. I laugh because I've been there. So her roommate slipped in the same spot 10 minutes before. It was kind of hard to see the video behind that banner, but oh man, every time I see it, I hurt.
She took a tumble. Yeah,
that was the first time we've heard it with audio.
Right?
Really bad.
I told you to be careful.
Oh, no. We have all been there though.
Yeah.
Once I slipped and I went like under the car. It was so bad. Yes.
And then there's Liz's famous slip last year on TV.
Oh, that's the worst.
She went down doing a live shot.
Yes, she did.
Somehow it was funny, but
poor Liz.
Because
she was okay.
Because it was Liz.
Yes. Yeah, she was fine.
All right, we want to check the weather forecast. Marty has that.
Boy, I wish I could tell you we're going to have a big change today, but that's not going to be the case. It's icy out there now, very cold. We continue to see these pockets of light snow up and down the Front Range. They're going to go through the morning. Now, the heavier snow is down south, closer to Levita Pass, the wet mountains. We've had some pretty good snow from just under 3 inches at DIA, almost 6 in Nevada. This is the National Weather Service office in Boulder, way above anybody else at 11 inches of snow, just a localized pocket in Boulder, icy with light snow, low to mid-teens this morning. We will get perhaps another inch of snow here if you're close to or in the foothills. 1 to 2 inches looks likely. We start clearing up after 2.
Icy conditions continue out on our drive, and that does mean we've got some traffic problems for you. This is a live look at the west side, so 6th Avenue out near 19th Street. This is in Golden. You can see how snow-packed the roads are, and it does get worse the further west that you go, and it's on the west side where we're seeing most of our problems this morning. This is one of our accidents. It's a spin out at eastbound 6th and Federal, causing some issues. That drive along eastbound 6th will take you about 14 minutes, speeds averaging 38 miles per hour. We also have a crash at westbound 36 and Wadsworth that's causing some delays. Right now, Liz Kodalik is driving around the metro area. She's heading west on I-70. Liz, how's it been going? How are the roads looking while you've been out this morning?
Yeah, you know, where we are right now on I-70, we're approaching right now C-470. It's a lot more snowpacked than what we were seeing on I-70 prior to this point. From 225 to about the Purina plant, it was a great drive, but there's some more snowpack in this part of the drive as well as icier conditions. So keep that in mind. But even when you're on I-70 and other parts of your metro drive this morning and it doesn't seem like it's icy out there, there will be some icy spots. We were experiencing some flat splashback by the Purina plant, and I'm really concerned that with these cold temperatures that is going to turn into ice. So keep that in mind. Take it slow. Give yourself plenty of time. C-470, when we were on this highway not too long ago, about an hour ago, it was a mess. So we're headed back onto C-470 right now. We have a viewer who wants us to check this area out again. So we're going to see if conditions have improved. Hopefully they have. But in the meantime, my friend Eddie is in Boulder right now. Eddie, I know you're outside. I know it's cold, but I did give you some hand warmers this morning. Hopefully you're using them.
Oh, I forgot. I put them in my bag. I forgot I have those, but I do have these nifty new gloves that I've been wearing this morning. Yes, we're in Boulder, one of the places that got the most snow from this storm that kind of ripped through the area. And, you know, the roads are slick this morning. We told you guys about that on our drive when we hit I-25 and 36 coming to Boulder. But for us, since we're kind of standing out and walking the streets and the sidewalks here near the Pearl Street Mall, we just have to let you know they're pretty slick. And this morning I mentioned it, and then the city had someone come out and put salt down. So quick shout out and thank you for that. But it is Boulder. We just saw someone walking out in shorts and a t-shirt. So even though we're really cold, I don't know if the locals here are that cold. We're going to continue to drive around the area. We'll check back in, you guys, even when we switch over to Channel 20 starting at 7 o'clock. For now, we'll toss it back to you, Corey.
Eddie, thank you. Get those hand warmers, my friend. They'll make a big difference. It won't be long before your streets are clear. Residential plows hit the road overnight between midnight and 3. I saw more than a dozen on my way in this morning around 2. It's good news for plow drivers who haven't had much business so far this year. Most schools like Denver, Aurora, Douglas County didn't cancel outright. They are delayed until the roads can clear up. We've got more than 200 of those delays or cancellations. They're scrolling along the bottom of your screen. You can also find them on our website at 9news.com.
And we're also checking the FlightAware's misery map this morning. 81 delays, 8 cancellations at DIA. That's not counting the hundreds of flights that were delayed and canceled on Monday. And then, of course, the long lines to rebook that flight. John Glasgow's at the airport where people are trying to make it out of town. How are the lines looking, John?
Well, we're right here in front of United. This is the baggage check, and you can see that there are some passengers that are trying to get out here this morning. Now, United had 167 flights grounded yesterday as a result of that snow. This morning, we're not seeing nearly as many. In fact, things are moving here pretty good. I mean, this line is moving pretty fast. Now, we did catch up with some of those passengers that were stuck here overnight that weren't able to get out yesterday because of the snow. One of them was from Kansas. She was on a cruise to Jamaica. She was there for the earthquake. Then she got stuck here. She says she's just wanted to get home. Here's her experience.
Yeah, I'm ready to go home. But yeah, I've been here since 7 o'clock last night, and we'll be here until about 1:40 this afternoon.
Oh, we just hope that she can get out. I mean, she's had just quite the experience, but she was in the sun, so she said it wasn't all that bad. Here's a look at the security checkpoint this morning. You can see that it's only a 15-minute wait here to get through. So, as I mentioned, we're watching that bottleneck to see if it's going to happen, but so far so good. It's not so bad. We'll send it back to you guys.
Good to hear, John. All right, thank you so much. Download the 9 News app to keep track of the weather and also any closures or traffic problems that it might cause. It's free on the app and Google Play stores.
Overnight, dozens of firefighters in Weld County battled huge flames in the frigid blowing snow after a fire broke out at an oil site. These pictures were taken overnight near County Roads 38.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm meteorologist Kylie Burse here in the 9 News Weather Center. Hope your snowy Tuesday's off to a great start. Just wanted to hop on here and answer any questions that you might have about the drive, about the forecast. So brought in my laptop so that I can check out your questions as they're coming in. So I will try and get to as many as I can. But first, let's start with the latest on the weather forecast, because we are starting to see some of that snow taper off. Just really, really light flurries when I was just out in the 9 News backyard. So you can see we've got some snow down in far southern Colorado, mainly south of Pueblo, down through Trinidad. Just some really light flurries in the foothills near the Springs, but then in the Denver metro area, really when we're seeing this bright white color, that indicates some of those really light flakes that are coming down. So that's pretty much what we're dealing with so far this morning. We've got some light flakes through Parker and Centennial up toward Aurora, Arvada, Lakewood, and Denver, and then up toward Broomfield and Longmont. And then it really tapers off pretty quickly. Once you get up toward Fort Collins and Greeley, looks like things are pretty quiet in that direction. So looking good. I don't think we're going to see much more accumulation for today. If you do, possibly up toward an inch. So that's what we're looking at. I'm seeing a lot of questions already coming in about the road, so we can hop on over to your traffic if that's what you guys would like. So let's take a look. Okay, roads actually have been on the main stretches in pretty good shape. So we're talking about, you know, those main roads, the highways, those are looking good, but you do want to take some extra time, because when I say they're looking good, I'm saying in comparison to that snow that's come down pretty much all night long. So we still have snow on the roads, some icy conditions on bridges and overpasses, and then we do have a couple of crashes. So I'll just go ahead and take a quick look at some of these. Looks like, 36, a little bit of a mess. That's pretty early for 36 to see these kind of backups and delays. So we've got a crash on 36 westbound right after 121 there, right as you're coming through Broomfield, and it's causing some delays as you're heading out that direction. Got another one that doesn't look like it's causing too many backups on I-25, but still seeing some stop and go traffic there. And then on 6 as you're approaching I-25, so 6 east, we are seeing a crash in that area. And then 225, these are actually pretty typical when it comes to the slowdowns. Total inches, great question. I don't know that I have. Let me see if Marty put together some totals for us this morning. I believe that he did, but we had some pretty good numbers that were coming in. Officially out at the airport, I believe it was 2.8 inches. Oh, and I actually have some on my computer, but I'll see if I can pull some up to show you guys. But it looks like Kenosha Pass got about 8 inches of snow. And I'm just looking at my computer. Aha, snow reports. Let's see if those are updated. Okay. Actually, you know what we're going to do? I changed my mind. We're going to do it a different way. Local storm report. We'll turn these on. Okay, let's check it out. We can all take a look. So out toward Boulder, 11.3. That looks like it's up into the foothills just a little bit. Louisville picked up 5.8 inches. Officially in Northglenn, 4.2. Airport, 2.8, like we mentioned. Out toward Evergreen, 10.6. That's in Jefferson County. And then down toward Carriage Club, near Highlands Ranch, picked up about 3 inches of snow. All right. Good morning, everyone. You guys are all awesome. And let me go ahead and talk about the temperatures, because not only do we have the snow, but it is going to be pretty chilly out there. So looking at those temps, you can see we're at 11 degrees here in Denver. We're at 9 degrees in Kremling. So it's actually not too chilly up in the high country compared to what's typical for this time of year, but we're definitely feeling it. And then teens out over the eastern plains so far this morning. Then we just zooming into the Front Range current temperatures. We are mainly in the single digits down through Castle Rock and Parker, and then low teens for the rest of us. Appreciate your report coming in from Northglenn, about 2 inches there. Thank you, Brandy. Appreciate that. And Brandy's saying about not 4 inches. Okay, no, I really appreciate that. It just depends on kind of where that person was and what they were doing to take it. So for today, your forecast, well, it's not going to get much warmer. We're only reaching into the mid to upper teens for today. And then I did see someone asking about the 7-day forecast. So we'll go ahead and pull that up. Here we go. Okay, so tomorrow we do start to see some clearing. We're bringing back that sunshine, but a high of 32 degrees. Technically, yes, that's warmer, but it's going to be windy by Wednesday afternoon. And then by Thursday, 44 degrees. We've got a little snow coming for Friday, and then we're back up into the 40s by the weekend. So the weekend actually looks pretty good. Maybe not by comparison to this past one, but still. Highlands Ranch was in the 2 to 5 inch range, Bryant. So what did they end up getting? I believe they were... Let me pop back over. We always, and depending on what day you saw that, we will always update those totals or our estimated totals as we get closer to the event. So maybe that was a little bit earlier and we thought it might be higher, but they fell right in that range, I believe. So Highlands Ranch. Here we go. Oh, that is just my email coming on through. 3 inches, so in that 2 to 5 inch range. Perfect. Patrick says 6 to 7 inches in Niwot. Beryl says Johnstown still has quite a bit of snow coming down. Yeah, we can see that we definitely still have a little bit in some spots, but for the most part, it's really starting to wrap up. But up north, let's see what's happening up this way. Got a little bit out toward Wellington. Fort Collins is quiet right now. Johnstown, interesting. I'm not seeing anything showing up on radar, but thanks for letting me know that you still have that snow coming in. Asking about delays. So we might link it in here, but if not, if you scroll down, we've got a whole website full of delays letting you know about pretty much everything that's delayed as far as schools, but also when we're looking at government starts as well. So you can check those out. All right, if you're just joining us, we are just talking about snow and cold and the traffic, of course, too. So let's go ahead and check out your traffic maps. We've got just a couple of crashes. I think the biggest impact that I'm seeing that's out in the typical for your drive is just coming on Highway 36. Normally, I drive that a lot. We don't start to see those backups and delays until closer toward that 7:30 hour. So that's a little early there. We've got a crash there, and then it looks like, oh, this crash is starting to cause more delays on I-25. That's southbound right near 120th. So as you're coming through Broomfield right now, it looks like the questions are starting to slow down. So if you guys have any more, you can find me. You can send me a Facebook message. That would be totally fine. Or if you want, you can tweet me, find me on Instagram. And then if not, and you just want to pop back here in an hour, I will be back here answering all of your weather questions within the 7 o'clock hour. So stay safe. Make sure you're leaving yourself plenty of extra time on the roads and bundle up. It is definitely chilly out there. Have a great day, everyone.
using the hashtag 9WX. So we're going to be sharing these photos throughout the morning. We've been getting so many good photos. Cute pups out there, too.
Love the guy who did the snap.
Yeah, the guy with the snap. Boy, that's how quick it changes, doesn't it? Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. If you are heading out the door, don't forget to wear your coat, dress warm, gloves, hats.
Just be prepared
I mean, it is really
Layer
cold
up.
It is really cold today.
We have team coverage from the mountains to the airport, but first Marty is joining us. Not much snow left. The headline really is that it's just going to be so cold.
Yes, snowed intensely last evening, in the afternoon and evening, and then early this morning. Still snowing and foggy, but just not as much. We have a pretty nice band of snow up and down the Front Range. We'll get additional snow. But this storm is really focusing more in east central Colorado into Kansas, so Burlington over to Goodland, and then down south, Pueblo, Walsenburg, Trinidad, and then backing into the mountains and foothills down south into the wet mountains and surrounding areas. So far, now these are our late evening observations. Now that we're past 7 o'clock, we're going to get a lot of new readings, so I should be able to update these for you. But as of last night, anywhere from between about 2 to 5 inches of snow around town. At the Weather Service office in Boulder, they had over 11 inches of snow. So for the rest of the commute, it is cold, it is icy. We're going to hang out in the teens, not only this morning, but all day. Yes, there will be additional snow between now and 2 p.m. Very light around here. You get closer to the foothills, it's an inch or two more.
We have seen some very icy conditions around the metro area. Highways have seen their fair share of problems. This is a little bit of an improvement. I-25 southbound, right at 120th. We had an accident in place. It looks like that's now been cleared out of the way. Still some residual delays, but they are not terrible. Further south, we've got a stall at westbound I-70 at Brighton Boulevard. That's also causing some delays for us this morning. I think the bigger delay is going to be this crash at westbound 36 in Wadsworth. It's in the toll lane, so it's in the express lane. And as you're headed out west towards Boulder, conditions seem to deteriorate because we had a little bit more snow. So that's a 32-minute drive with speeds averaging 42 miles per hour. Certainly one of the tougher spots that we've got going on so far today. Of course, we've had team coverage of your drive today. Liz Kodalik actually has been now all over the metro area. Liz, I've noticed it's gotten worse the further west you go, and you're in Lakewood. Are you seeing the same?
Oh, yeah. Take a look at this, Becky. Look at this, everybody. So as she mentioned, Lakewood. And this is what it looks like on the side streets right now. My goodness, this is Alkire in Mississippi. We're headed back to the interstate, but wanted to show you the conditions on some of the side streets in the areas that got a lot of snow. It is certainly beautiful out here, but it is snow-packed and icy. And we're considering the same sort of thing on C-472, considering the fact that it was similar out there when we were out there about an hour ago, or I should say maybe like an hour and a half ago, icy and snow-packed conditions. So we're going to head back over there and see what it looks like and see if things have improved. I don't think so, though. Much different story on I-25, I-225, I-70 from 225 to Colorado Boulevard. Things are looking pretty good in those areas. A little bit of splashback, and with that moisture and all these cold conditions, I am worried that roads are just going to get icier out there, so keep that in mind. But in the meantime, side streets in Lakewood, pretty. Did you like that, Corey? It's pretty out here in Lakewood. I have seen a lot of people, though, who have been outside. They've been scraping the snow and the ice off of their sidewalks. So those are the real heroes of Colorado today.
You're my hero, Liz. So good.
I'm the worst.
Pretty. Yes, it looks like a winter wonderland out there for sure. The storm caused nearly 200 canceled flights at DIA Monday, leaving many scrambling now to get out this morning. John Glasgow is live at the airport. And John, good news, only a few cancellations so far today.
That's right. I just checked the tally. There's 15 canceled flights this morning and 16 delays. That's a totally different situation than yesterday, where there were, as you mentioned, hundreds of cancellations and hundreds of delays. Watching here, so far it's been pretty good. It's been ebbs and flows with the traffic here. I'm going to step out and show you the security line here. It's roughly a 10 to 15 minute wait to get through security. Now, DIA, the operations team here, just put out a tweet saying that they're going to work throughout the day to clear some snow. They are expecting more of it, but they do say that it is going to be a pretty easy going here, but there should be some minor delays. A lot of that could be de-icing planes. Some of the airlines need to do that to get these planes off the ground here at the airport. But so far, so good. We were oftentimes seeing bottlenecks here at the airport following these big storms, but right now we're not seeing any of that. So we're going to continue to follow that. If you do have a flight today, double check to make sure it's on time. Reporting from DIA, John Glasgow, 9 News.
More weather coverage still ahead this hour. We have constant updates throughout the storm online and on our 9 News app. You can find a full list of closings, live radar, forecast updates. You can
Good morning, I'm John Glasgow, live here at Denver International Airport, and we're following the conditions here as well as the impact that it's having on airlines following that storm from yesterday. Now, there was quite a bit of a delay here at the airport for a lot of the different airlines. We had up to 500 delays from various, but then there was also 170 canceled flights. So we're going to show you here the security line. It's roughly a 10-minute wait here this morning. We're not seeing nearly that. We have 15 canceled flights and only 16 delays, so that is an average day here at DIA. And we're seeing ebbs and flows in terms of the amount of travelers that are trying to come through here. It does back up and the baggage claim, but then it quickly does dissipate. So it looks like it is an easygoing day, but we do know that on days like this, following a snowstorm, things can back up pretty fast if we do get a little bit more snowfall here today. So we're going to continue to monitor this. We did catch up with a few of the travelers that were stranded overnight here in the Great Hall. Many of them passing time as they always do with Wi-Fi or trying to watch movies, whatever they can to try to pass the time before their flight. So the major airlines that had the problems yesterday were United and Southwest. Today, not seeing that. It looks like an average day, but again, check your flight if you have one scheduled and make sure that Pena Boulevard is clear as well. Allow yourself a lot of extra time before your flight. Reporting from Denver International Airport, John Glasgow, 9 News. Watch me. Should we go with that? Like a minute and a half.
On the moisture content, really wet, heavy snow might be good to shovel in the middle so you're not hurting your back.
Kylie, thank you. President Trump will give his State of the Union address tonight, just hours before another vote in his impeachment trial. So what's the history of the State of the Union address? Matt, you're
long from about 5 to 7, but we wanted to get back in the truck, give you guys a look at the roads this morning. A lot of snow out here, a lot more than in Denver, and it is cold. We were outside earlier. I think I was talking to Matt Bell, who's behind the wheel, and he said it was about 12 degrees outside, so definitely very cold out here in Boulder this morning. I was asking him what the roads feel like driving, and he said, you know, kind of just choppy, kind of slick with all the snow pack that is on there right now, but we have seen some snow plows out in some areas, so definitely the roads have been treated, but that doesn't mean you don't want to take it easy. You want to make sure you're being very careful this morning because it is slick. So we're going to continue on our drive. We're going to be checking in with you guys throughout this 7 to 9, 2 hours that we're in the morning show still, and we'll check back in with you in a few minutes. For now, we're going to toss it over to Marty. Marty, it is cold.
It is. Thank you so much for that shot, Eddie. It just gives us such a great, I mean, it really gives you the feel for what it's like. It is heavy snow in Boulder. I wanted to show you this. It's the backyard. We have the overhead cam. You got some nice snow coming down around here, and it's well lit, so you can see it really well here during the morning this morning. Eddie, of course, earlier, this is when he was up on the Pearl Street Mall. He mentioned that 7-8 inches of snow there, but at the Weather Service office, they had over 11 inches of snow, and it's still snowing up there. They might end up with a foot in Boulder. Now, this storm is focusing more in eastern and southern Colorado. That doesn't mean we're done with the snow.
Earlier, we were in the Pearl Street Mall showing you guys the slick sidewalks for the most part and the slick streets. They have been treating them this morning, and now we're driving here in Boulder, and I was talking to Matt Bell, who's behind the wheel, been keeping us safe all morning long, and he says it's definitely choppy on the roads this morning. That's what we're seeing. They have been treated some, but it is definitely still like little snowpack areas and slick areas, so that's what we're experiencing this morning. Earlier when we were driving on I-25 and then getting onto Highway 36 to get to Boulder, things were pretty smooth until we got to that overlook area, and then that's when you started to really experience the snowpack, because of course we were leaving that Denver area and crossing into Boulder. Boulder did get, you know, quite a bit of snow, I think somewhere between 9 inches to 11 inches, something like that. So that's what we're seeing this morning. Roads are pretty slick, but as long as you take it easy and you're just aware of the road conditions, you should be in good shape. We've been out on the roads, but it hasn't been during the rush hour like it is now. So not so too many cars have been out there, but now we're starting to see more and more pickup as we move into that rush hour this morning. We were on Channel 9, now we're over on Channel 20, giving you guys that live coverage. But here on Facebook Live, I mean, just gotta kind of keep it easy. We're passing up, oh, I thought that was a sign that was gonna let us know slick roads ahead, but that is actually just a toll road sign. So just letting you guys know, as you get out this morning, roads are going to be pretty slick. There is still snow falling here in the Boulder area. I think in some of the other areas that we've been in, the snow has kind of stopped. We've had live reporters all morning long. Liz Kodalik has been driving along the Denver metro area. John Glasgow has been over at DIA, kind of giving you guys updates on all of those flights that were canceled when the snow first started falling yesterday, and the cancellations that have, of course, carried over into this morning. So here in the Boulder area, Boulder County, where we're driving, we're actually leaving the area and kind of giving you guys a different look at what's going on west of Boulder. So we're going to continue with our drive. If you guys want to pop on the TV, Channel 20, we're going to give you guys another update here in about 10-15 minutes on what we're seeing. But we're going to sign off of Facebook for now. So be safe if you're getting out on the roads this morning. And if you don't have to, enjoy the snow from your window and just stay inside. We'll chat with you later.
some who don't mind the snow at all. Colorado dogs. Look at this one. Looks like a St. Bernard. Ian sent us this photo saying his dog just didn't want to come back inside. Ian, I feel you. I have a Bernese Mountain Dog, and she sleeps in the snow, basically.
Yeah.
And then you have my dog who almost tripped me last night coming in from outside.
Right.
It was like, I don't want to be outside anymore.
No way, Mom.
Yes.
Yeah,
No way.
mine too. Well, Ian's got a fur coat on, so
Yeah.
yeah, he's doing good.
Good morning, everyone. We're starting this Tuesday with team snow coverage across the metro area. Not much falling anymore, but that cold is really sticking around. First, let's get to Marty. Marty, single-digit wind chill temps.
As you just showed us, the single-digit wind chill without even really very much wind. Snow continuing here this morning and in Fort Collins, which we saw a moment ago. So we have snow up and down the Front Range, which I think will continue until early afternoon. Still being picked up on HD Doppler. So if there's enough to show on radar, it's actually a pretty good rate of snow around here. It's even heavier down toward Walsenburg, into Pueblo and Trinidad and surrounding mountain areas. These are the snow reports we've had so far, and again, we'll update through the morning. Two I want to point out, I've highlighted them, Boulder and Genesee, both over 10 inches of snow. They've had way more than anybody else in that localized snow. I think we'll get an additional couple inches in the foothills near Boulder and near Golden, up to an inch from the Denver area up into northern Colorado before things begin to clear this afternoon. I'd love to tell you it's going to be warm, but that would be a fib because it's not going to be. And I can't get away without doing a cute puppy pic too. That is Henry, and he's adorable. Thank you, Nicole Gonzalez.
I mean, one of the cutest puppy pictures that we have seen in a long time. Love that. Thanks, Marty. This is a live look at the drive this morning, which has been a little bit on the slow side. Certainly icy. We were expecting that, and this is what I kind of like about days like today. We've been talking about the snow for the last couple of days and how it's headed our way. Traffic's been a lot lighter than usual. Some of that could have to do with some of the delayed starts that we have around the city, but maybe some folks also opting to stay home and work from home this morning and this afternoon. Still, a couple of problems, mainly just because it's icy. This is on southbound I-25 in Santa Fe. We've got a crash likely in place, causing some delays through that part of town. Also, an accident in place at westbound 36 in Wadsworth that's in the toll lane that's causing some delays for us. So as you're headed westbound into Boulder, you're going further west into more of those snow-packed and icy roads. It is a longer drive, 30 minutes now, with speeds averaging 44 miles per hour along the turnpike.
Becky, thank you. The snow, for the most part, stopped overnight, but the freezing temps are still going strong, which means you can expect the roads to be slick for your morning drive. Liz Kodalik is out on C-470 to the west. Liz, how are the roads there?
You know, there are a lot more snowpack than what we had seen on I-70 and even I-25 and 225 earlier this morning, but it looks a lot better than the last time that we were out here. We were out here before the sun rose, and it was a mess. You could hardly see where you were going. Not the case at all right now. There are some icy spots, of course, as you can imagine, after a storm like what we saw yesterday. But as we're approaching Ken Carroll here, you can see that it's pretty easy to tell where you're going right now. And there are lines in the road that kind of, you were just following this Jeep that's in front of us, and it's not really too much of a concern. But there will be some icy spots. As Becky was saying, not too many people out on the roads, at least in this portion of your morning drive, which is some good news. We haven't seen a ton of accidents. I know hours and hours ago, Nico Godo, who's behind the wheel, did see someone who had spun out on I-70, but that was quite some time ago. There's a little bit more traffic on I-70, I'm sure, at this point of the morning. So we're going to keep an eye on it. We're headed towards I-25 right now. My colleague Eddie Randall is headed back from Boulder. You're in the car, Eddie. You're supposed to be outside of the car, so I don't have to get out of the car.
Yeah, we decided to jump in and kind of show people some different areas. So we actually started headed toward Arvada. Now we're in Westminster here, and we're seeing that the roads are, you know, slick. People, there's a bit of an accident to our left. Our camera isn't showing you guys that angle, but people are kind of turning in front, trying to get around there. We're seeing a lot of people who are kind of losing traction because it is definitely slick where we're driving, especially if you have two-wheel drive. We are in a four-wheel drive drive huge live trucks, so we're pretty good right now, but we have seen people kind of losing traction, slipping and sliding, going in and out of lanes. So you are going to want to make sure that you're careful this morning, because here in this area that got 9+ inches of snow, it is definitely slick out here, and some areas are still snow-packed this morning. So yeah, we're going to head back kind of through Westminster and continue on our drive. We still have more than an hour left in our show this morning, so we'll check back in with you guys at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. For now, we'll toss it back to you, Gary.
All right, Eddie, thank you for that. Time now for your news in 90 seconds. Dozens of firefighters in Weld County battled huge flames in the frigid blowing snow after a fire broke out at an oil site. These pictures were taken overnight at County Road 38 and 35. I believe we have them. Platteville and Gilcrest and LaSalle fire crews found the flames more than 20 feet high, 50 feet wide. All the employees were evacuated. Nobody was hurt. The fire put out about 4:30 this morning. One person has died in a small plane crash at the Department of Corrections facility in Canyon City. 3 people were on board. 2 were airlifted to the hospital. They haven't told us any of the names of who was on that plane. Problems with a mobile app forced significant delays in reporting the results of the Iowa caucuses. So right now, there is no winner. The Iowa Democratic Party says quality checks showed inconsistencies at 3 sites. So now they're counting those by hand, and then they will release the results. Tonight, President Trump will give his annual State of the Union address before a joint session of Congress. This is last year's. He is calling the speech the Great American Comeback. And tomorrow, it's likely it will be a great American comeback. He's expected to be acquitted in the Senate impeachment trial. Great Super Bowl cleanup is underway in South Florida. Tens of thousands of football fans left behind thousands of cans and other assorted trash. Crews estimate they will pick up some 40 tons of trash from that stadium.
This morning, we've been getting so many great photos, snow day pictures and videos. We've got our puppy fix, and we just can't get enough of this particular video. So this doorbell camera caught this guy slipping outside of his house Monday morning. Just watch. He's coming down the stairs and takes a tumble. Ouch. Just moments later, his roommate also took a tumble in the same spot. You know what happens? It happens to everyone. It's happened to me. That's why I can laugh. And this video actually reminded us of someone we know, Miss Liz Kotelik. She was trying to clean off the windshield, and then, yeah, she didn't quite make it around to the other side.
So good.
Oof. On live TV, nonetheless.
Just can't see that too many times.
I like that we just keep re-racking it, and so we had to get Liz's commentary on it again.
Liz, we decided we're going to show that every time it snows over an inch.
That was a year and a half ago.
We don't
it's like
care.
I'll never be able to live that down.
No.
I don't understand. But here's the thing. Everybody gives me a hard time when it's snow days like this, and I'm always the one I'll be the one just driving in the car and staying in the car. It's not because I'm lazy. It's because I'm worried about my well-being, and that is why.
I hear you, girl.
We understand.
It was a traumatic event that happened.
We were glad you were okay. But
At least the camera.
What, did you just show it again?
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Replay.
I have another request. If we're going to continue to bring that video back, can we also bring the video back of Ryan running in the snowstorm in shorts? Remember that video that we played a million times?
We should bring that back too.
Yeah, that was good too. I do remember that.
It's not nearly as good.
It wasn't quite as funny, but okay,
we're a
Liz,
great couple.
You are a good sport. Thanks.
You are. Torture is over.
We appreciate it. All right.
We've been scheming that for like an hour or two. Little did she know it was coming.
And Corey wanted to pop her up so she can have a reaction to
There
it
you
too.
go.
I love Liz. Thank you. You're such a good sport. Kylie?
That was one of my favorite mornings. So funny. Liz, you are the absolute best. Good morning, everyone. We're here in the 9 News backyard. That snow's starting to taper off, but I'm on social media all morning long, kind of behind the scenes, helping to answer any questions that you might have. If you have a traffic question, you're worried about driving somewhere, I'm about to hop on Facebook Live here. We're going to be on the KUSA page, so you can search for that 9 News, KUSA, or you can send me, I had a couple people tweet me some questions, send me some questions on Instagram Messenger as well. So happy to answer all of your questions in any way you get them to me.
So how much of your own money do you spend to get your job done? Colorado's legislators are considering giving teachers a break for what they spend for their classrooms.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm meteorologist Kylie Burst here in the 9 News Weather Center. It's been a fun, busy morning. It was such a quiet January that as meteorologists, we were all kind of excited to see some of this snow coming down. So just thought I would pop on here, answer any questions that you might have about the forecast, about traffic or travel. I'll pull up some of the comments on my trusty laptop, which is just off screen over here. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and just kind of give you a quick little update on the forecast because we do have just a little light snow that's still coming down in the 9 News backyard. I was just out there. The flakes are so tiny and they're really starting to taper off pretty nicely. So we're just about done with all the accumulating snow. So that's good news. But as you can see, still some light snow that's coming down. We zoom in here just to the west of Denver, just past I-25 there, and down toward or up toward Federal Heights, Broomfield, into Boulder. Still some light snow that's coming down, but for the most part, really going to be wrapping up here within the next little bit. So not much more in the way of accumulation. Looking at your forecast here, yep. By later on this afternoon, we are done. Temperatures, it is chilly. Check it out, 10 degrees in Denver right now, 11 in Fort Collins, Leadville at 2 below zero. So definitely that cold air has sunk in with us, and it's going to be here to stay because your highs today, check them out. Only in the teens. If you're lucky, in the low 20s. We've got Naomi saying good morning. Good morning to you. Yes, stay warm. Stay bundled up out there. Here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast as we go throughout the day. We'll be reaching into the upper teens, and that is where we stay. Chance for a few snowflakes for early on this morning, but otherwise we'll really clear things out as we get into later today. You can see by 5 o'clock we might even see a little sunshine before that sun officially goes down, and then we'll start to do some melting by the time we get into not so much tomorrow. A little melting with the sunshine, but right at 32 degrees. It'll be breezy by the afternoon, and then as we get into Thursday, mid-40s. It'll be cloudy with another round of snow possible by Friday. Temps reaching back up into the 40s by Saturday and Sunday, so we'll definitely do some melting as we head toward the weekend. So nice to see that things are starting to wrap up. Your traffic has actually been pretty good. I think a lot of people stayed home and, weren't on the roads. I've seen a couple people asking about... Oh, Spunky asking about captions. I'm so sorry. I don't have any control over that. Well, I guess you can't hear this anyway. Donald says good morning. So does Maria. Good morning, everyone. And Melissa, too. Your drive actually pretty decent. I'd say in some respects, as far as traffic goes, even better than when we have just a normal day. But you can see we do have some stop and go traffic through downtown Denver, crash towards Centennial, but that doesn't seem to be causing any problems. And then these backups and delays on 36 as you're heading toward Boulder, those are pretty typical for this time of the morning too. So don't be fooled by that. That means that we've been doing great. That means we need to keep being great because we definitely want to make sure that everyone is safe on the roads, and we've seen a lot of that. So let's check in on some snow totals while I've got you guys here. Turn on these local storm reports. All right, let's check some of these out. Out toward Boulder, they got 11.3 inches of snow. That was a good storm for them. Broomfield picked up 3.6 inches. Officially out at the airport, oh no, that's not that. There we go. There's the airport, 2.8 inches of snow there. And then Aurora got 3.5. Highlands Ranch reporting 3 inches. Oh, we've got Maria watching from Houston. Well, good morning. I bet your weather is a lot warmer than ours is. Netherland only got about 2.6 inches, and then up toward Longmont, we're looking at 4.2. We've got Carolyn flying in from Pennsylvania. Are there a lot of delays? We've seen some delays, especially on the outgoing flights. Let me check on DIA's Twitter right now. But that's mostly because of de-icing that's been happening. Denver Airport. All right, light snow is expected to fall. Yeah, it's mostly de-icing. But check your flight status is what they're saying. But I think that coming in, we're going to be in pretty decent shape. They've got all the crews out on the runways and haven't seen too many problems there. Are we warming up anytime soon? Jordan is asking. Let's check out your 7-day forecast. The answer is yes, definitely warmer than today. I wouldn't call it warm compared to this past weekend, but as you can see, we're back in the low 30s by tomorrow, and then by Thursday, we're in the mid 40s. Friday, some chance for snow, and then warmer for the weekend, but still a little bit below average. Asking for snow totals in Loveland, Fort Collins. Let me see. Let me see if we got any. Dun, dun, dun. Aha, we did. Okay, I've got both. I've got one for Fort Collins and one for Loveland. Or I guess this is north of Fort Collins. Oh, no, still reporting Fort Collins. 2.6 inches there. And Loveland, ooh, 7.2 inches. Pretty good. Boulder and Aurora roads. Okay. Those are two different sides of the city. Let's see here. Boulder, it's definitely going to be snowpacked on those side streets. The main, like Highway 36, has been in pretty good shape. But as you can see, there are lots of stop and go traffic. And then in Aurora, same deal. Friends in Longmont. Stay warm. Yeah, I love that. Vicki saying Colorado Springs picked up 4 inches. Awesome. You know, it's kind of, I think a lot of people, I was loving all your pictures that have been coming in. I think a lot of people are actually enjoying the snow, which has been really good to see, especially just since we haven't had too much of it. Really December, January, and now starting off February with at least a little something. But we're still looking like we're pretty good for the season when it comes to snowfall, just because we had such an incredible October and November with those early storms that came on in. So. Jordan saying, yeah, I've never used this before. Definitely following. Awesome. So glad to have you, or always happy to answer questions. Chris must follow me on Instagram because he asked if I went with the apple or the peanut butter cup. I just posted which one will I eat. Do you guys ever do this? Do you pack like a healthy snack and you're like, yes, if I pack the healthy snack, that's what I'll choose. And then I brought the peanut butter cup, so I'm definitely going to eat the peanut butter cup after. But I'll eat the apple at some point today. How are the roads from Greeley to DIA? Let's hop back down. Greeley. All right, 85, looking pretty good. Yeah, not many problems. That's good news. Bailey got at least 10 inches. That's awesome. The Tech Center. Yeah, we're not doing bad, guys. I mean, the good news is, like, these speeds are going to be slower, but because people are taking it easy, we're definitely not seeing too many crashes. Lee, we just did Fort Collins, 2.6 inches there. Fun snow day for the kids. I love it. Brett says, make it warm again. I wish I could control the weather. I always say I'd be making a ton more money. Brandy says, should we even be driving in this? I mean, as always, if you can stay home, it's the best option for you because we've got plows out there. There are certainly some icy spots and some slick spots, so it's always safer, but I wouldn't say that this is something where you can't leave the house. Skylar, appreciate your report of 2 to 3 inches in Lyman. Great to see that. Really cool. Great questions, guys. I've got to hop off of Facebook, but if you guys have any more questions, you can find me, you can send me a message on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Always happy to help out, answer any questions when it comes to travel. So just because we're not live doesn't mean I'm not here answering all of your questions. So send them my way. You can put them in the comments or you can email weather@9news.com and I will try and get to as many as I can. So have a great day. Stay warm and stay safe, everyone.
Like dogs.
They love it, yeah.
No dogs.
Just look at our tag board. Good morning, everybody on this snow day. If you're heading out the door this morning, we're going to be tracking your commute.
Right, we have team coverage from Boulder to the airport to the mountains. But first, Marty, let's talk about that cold.
Let's do. It's really chilly out there, and we are getting indications. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. We are getting indications that the dynamics for making snow are falling apart. See how it's lighter over here, just kind of on the southeast part of downtown? I think we're starting to see this. It's not ending. I mean, we still have light snow in Fort Collins too, but yeah, we're going to get more and more breaks and tears, and the rate of snow is going to get lighter and lighter during the morning. And we will see the sunset tonight, but it's going to be darn cold. Snow is mostly in southern Colorado. That's even slowing down as this storm continues to move out. Now, again, some of these reports are a little bit old, but we're getting new ones in all the time. I'm updating as I can. 2, 3, 4, 5 inches up around Fort Collins, Boulder. This is at the Weather Service office in Boulder. Over 11 inches of snow, 10 in Genesee. We've been running between about 2 and 5 here downtown. So I think we're going to get about another inch. It would have to be between here and noon, and another inch to 2, Golden, Boulder, and up into the foothills during the day today. And you mentioned the cold temperatures, Corey. Yeah, we're only in the teens all day. Sun should poke out later in the day, though.
And that drive this morning certainly has had its fair share of problems. We've had accidents, we've had spin outs, a lot of that because it's icy. And as we take a live look there at 225 at Parker, you can see some of the icy spots, but also the other thing you're noticing is how light the commute has been. We are expecting to see pretty light conditions now across most of the city, with still a couple of problems sprinkled in between. The drive along 225 northbound take it 13 minutes, 14 minutes to travel southbound. Look at that. I'm just noticing a lot of green. It does look like several accidents have popped up on the Boulder Turnpike. You know, the further west that you go, the more problems that we are seeing, because that's where some of the heavier snow totals have been. So we're seeing more snowpack on the roads. That being said, we've got team coverage of that drive today. Liz Kodalik is on I-25, is out near Lone Tree, likely near I-25, where, Liz, you've seen people spinning out.
Yeah, so we actually just got off of C-470, just got onto I-25, and on C-470 we did see an accident that had looked like it just happened involving 2 cars. Looked like everybody was okay, which is a good sign. We're seeing another accident here on I-25. Looks like someone spun out. We just passed it. You can't see it, but these are just a couple of reminders that it is icy out there. Although it doesn't look too bad right now, you can see there's not a ton of snowpack. That does not mean that there aren't icy spots that you need to be careful around. We know how cold it was. You just heard Marty say that. So we are seeing a lot of this kind of splashback that we saw earlier this morning turn into ice, and that is what is going on your drive. So I-25, we're headed northbound. We're headed towards Dry Creek right now. We've been on I-70 this morning, 225. Again, we just got off of C-470, and conditions look pretty much the same, whereas the plows did a really good job kind of scraping off of the snow, all of the snowpack off. That doesn't mean, again, that there aren't going to be some parts of your drive where things could get dicey. So just be careful out there. Give yourself plenty of extra time, because we're seeing kind of interesting conditions on top of the fact that there are now a lot more people on the roads.
Interesting conditions. That's a good way to say it for sure, Liz. Thank you. The storm caused hundreds of canceled flights at DIA yesterday, leaving many scrambling to get out this morning. John Glasgow is at the airport. John, the good news, only a few cancellations so far, but we were checking in with you. Yeah, the baggage line earlier was really long.
That's right. United was one of the airlines that was affected by all of those canceled flights yesterday. This is the check-in here for United this morning. You can see that it looks like a pretty average day so far here at the airport. You've got passengers trying to get through and get on those flights right now. Just checked that last few minutes ago, it was 15 canceled flights and only 21 delayed. So DIA operations, they say that they're going to try and keep the runways clear. They do expect a little bit more snow today, but and they're letting passengers know that to expect some de-icing and that sort of thing. So if you do have a flight, you're expected to get to the airport early and anticipate that there could be some slowdowns. But so far, it looks like it's pretty average here. Security, as you just saw, there's anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. It's not a bad day here at DIA. we'll continue to keep you updated here throughout the morning.
Yeah, we can handle all that for sure, especially after yesterday. John, thank you. More weather coverage still ahead this hour. We'll have constant updates throughout the storm online and on our 9 News app. You can find a list of closings, delays, live radar, forecast updates. You can also live stream our newscasts.
Denver City Council moving forward with a bill.
Causing some drama on the roads, but not enough drama for this llama. Take a look. Meet Moon Shadow, a 25-year-old llama, which we're told is very old in llama years. Shout out to Gretchen for sharing this photo. I didn't know llamas could be so cute. His fur was a bit frozen from the snow, but no problema for this guy out in the snow. See what I did there? No horsing around. He looks pretty cold though. And oh dear, look at all these deer. Melinda sent us this photo at Genesee Ridge Road. Traffic was at a standstill because of these guys on the road. If you have a photo or video you'd like to send us, we love all the animal photos. You can send them to our Facebook page or email them to yourtake@9news.com. Getting a lot of puppy photos too, Kylie.
Oh, you know those are my favorite. It's been so fun to see all of your puppies in the snow. And hey, we're actually starting to brighten up here in the 9 News backyard. The snow really tapering off. But if you do have any questions, I'm on social media all morning, been answering those questions for you. A lot of them have been traffic related, people worried about going from one place to the next. So as you can see, we've got our traffic maps here that Becky's going to be updating in just a few. But you can find me on social media, Kylie Burst WX, if you have any questions.
Kylie, thank you. President Trump will give his State of the Union address tonight, just hours before another vote in his impeachment trial.
what does this do for her in terms of what's on the schedule right now? How many races is she missing and stuff? Yeah, I would think so, for sure.
photos, puppy photos. Share what it looks like in your neighborhood using the hashtag 9WX. Someone who's happy to stay inside, though, Archie. Robin sent us this photo of her dog enjoying a nice heated blanket. Oh, he's got the right idea.
Mini Schnauzer. What a cutie.
Sweet.
Guaranteed that's what my dog is doing right now. And Clarence, probably.
Clarence is, laying on the bed. I know exactly where he is.
Yep.
In my spot, by the way.
Keeping it warm for you, that's all. Good morning, everyone. Not so much a snowy morning, but definitely a cold one. We have team snow coverage across the metro area for a look at your roads in the area. First, let's get to Marty, because the cold is here to stick around for a bit.
It sure is. Now, we're getting indications that the snow is slowing down. See how bright it is? Up here, the snow is starting to lighten up. The dynamics creating the snow are lightening up. Now, it's not done. It won't be like snap your fingers and it's done. It's still snowing up in Fort Collins, but we're going to see the snow decreasing. It's 8:30 now. Between now and noon, you'll really start to see these areas of snow fall apart. We have low visibility where it is snowing. The heaviest, I should say, along the turnpike right now is where we have some heavy snow, as well as down near Centennial, and that's where we're seeing it on HD Doppler. Remember, in a snow like this, if you can see it on radar, it's very evident where you are, obviously. We also have some pretty good snow in southern Colorado and out from Lamar, running up through Cheyenne Wells into central sections of Kit Carson County. I've got some newer numbers. I just haven't had time to update them yet, but we've seen pretty close to 5.5 inches of snow on the south side of Fort Collins, 2.5 on the north side, and upwards of 6-7 inches around Loveland. So that's been pretty good. 3 to 4 inches has been common around town, with the heaviest amounts of snow in Boulder at the Weather Service office and in the Genesee area. We'll get another couple inches in the foothills and another up to about an inch here below 6,500 feet.
The drive continues to be tough along 6th Avenue in the eastbound direction due to a car fire. You can actually see some of the smoke that's blocking the views of the emergency vehicles and the car itself there on the right side of eastbound 6. It's blocking the right lane. Everybody's having to funnel in, so we are seeing some delays. The other spot that I'm seeing some delays is out to our northwest, where we've had some icy road conditions along the Boulder Turnpike. There it looks like we've got a car, maybe two, that has spun out on the left side of the road. So that crashes at westbound 36 and Flatiron Crossing, and I am seeing some red through that area, so some light delays there. Down towards a little further to the south, a crash at northbound I-25 at University might be in place, but still a lot of green through that area. A lot of our drive, Corey, this morning has actually been a lot lighter than normal. I think we're starting to see some of that traffic start to pick up now that schools are starting to go back in, but this morning I think a lot of folks headed out prepared for the snow and ice.
Absolutely. The delayed start, I'm sure, helped out, and I know a lot of companies are saying, work from home if you can, which is nice, which helps out with that traffic load as well. As light snow continues today, you can expect the roads to be slick for your morning drive. Liz Kodelik has been driving all over the metro area this morning. 470, I-225, I-25. Liz, you're now back in Denver.
Yes, we've been all of the places. We are on Colfax now. We just turned onto Colfax from Colorado. There is a lot of traffic out here, as you can see, but that probably has something to do with the fact that there's also a lot of construction in this area. Regardless, though, we've been trying to check out what's going on your city streets, and things are looking okay. We were on Colorado, and it was kind of a mess with a lot of the slushiness and some of the snowpack, but we were driving so slowly that we didn't necessarily feel any ice under us. That doesn't mean it's not there, but a good idea to just take it slow regardless. We did see one crash on our way to where we are right now. So it's just kind of a slushy mess at this point. Your interstates look pretty good. As Corey mentioned, we've been pretty much everywhere this morning. And this is, if you want to, compare, this kind of is what it looks like on the interstates as well. C470 was the messiest drive if you're talking about interstates and highways, though. So something to keep in mind. So word on the street is that Eddie is also on Colfax. Word on the Colfax street. That was a bad joke. Eddie, how does it look where you are?
Yes, we are West Colfax. We are coming up on Raleigh Street right now. So, yeah, we're kind of not far from you, Liz, but on two separate sides of the street, so it's still okay. But as you can see, still snow over here. Not as much snow as earlier when we were over on Channel 9 in Boulder. That's an area that got quite a bit of snow. We're talking about more than 9 inches in some areas. So we were showing you those roads and those streets that were still pretty snow-packed and, were pretty slick. That's something that that we're still experiencing this morning as we're driving along Colfax. You know, there's still some slick areas and it is very cold. Marty's been talking about that all morning long, saying that it is going to be a cold day and a cold week. So as you get out this morning, headed to work or wherever you have to head, drop off the kids, just make sure you're taking it easy and being careful. Gary, we made it through the morning.
We made it through the morning, and you're in my hood right now, so I'm glad to see it's doing okay over there. Now time for your news in 90 seconds. Dozens of firefighters in Weld County battled huge flames in frigid cold temperatures after a fire broke out at an oil site. These pictures taken overnight near County Road 38 and 35. Platteville, Gilchrist, and LaSalle fire crews found the flames more than 20 feet high, about 50 feet wide. All the employees were evacuated. Nobody was injured. It took them a couple hours, but they got the fire out about 4:30 this morning. One person died in a small airplane crash at the Department of Corrections prison in Canyon City. 3 people were on board. 2 were airlifted to the hospital. They haven't released any names of the victims yet. Problems with a mobile app forced significant delays in reporting results of the Iowa caucuses last night. Right now, they have named no clear winner. The Iowa Democratic Party says quality checks showed inconsistencies in 3 sets of results. Now the results are being verified with paper copies and photos, and it's taking a while. Tonight, President Trump will give his annual State of the Union message before a joint session of Congress. He is calling the speech the Great American Comeback. Tomorrow, it is likely he will be acquitted in the Senate impeachment trial. And the great Super Bowl cleanup is underway in South Florida. Tens of thousands of football fans left behind thousands of cans and other sorted trash on Sunday. Crews estimate they'll pick up about 50 tons of trash.
And this morning you are trending. We've been sharing your photos all day and we've been getting some really cute ones. So we've all heard of Puss in Boots, right? Well, I present to you Debbie in Boots. She looks kind of happy. Thanks to Lisa, we get to see this picture of a cute little baby named Regan. She looks like she's enjoying the snow. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. And as requested by Liz Kodalik, video of her fiance Ryan running errands in the snow. He's only wearing shorts and sneakers. Does he not understand cold?
You know, he should be friends with Matt Renew.
Yeah,
right? You know, they're
Those
both
bare legs.
But he has his head covered.
Yeah,
right.
There's
the
that.
important
Not his
things.
legs, but he has his head covered.
Well, that's where, you know, the heat comes out, I guess.
There you go.
All right,
Ryan.
Oh, Liz. Hi. What do you think of that?
Liz is so proud.
Oh, am I on TV now?
Yes,
I
you're
am
on TV.
very proud because you guys were showing that video of me falling earlier this morning, and I said to the producer, Megan, I'm like, you better bring Ryan down with me, literally. You're bringing you down with me, Ryan. We're showing that video because you remember when that aired? You guys aired it like 18 times one morning. He was so embarrassed, and it was so amazing.
It was great. I see how this marriage is going to go.
That's a true
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Any opportunity to make fun of Ryan, I take.
Well done.
Yep, I like that.
We've noticed. We subscribe to her YouTube channel. We notice.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good.
It's so
you
funny.
don't just go do it.
They're
Her videos
really
are
funny
hilarious.
couple. They're
Absolutely.
just so funny.
All right.
I think we're going to go to
Kylie.
Oh, Kylie.
Hey guys, good morning. It's gorgeous here in the 9 News backyard. Just some real light flakes that are coming down, but actually the sun's coming out. It's beautiful. I've been online all morning long answering all of your questions. We just finished up our Facebook Lives, but if you guys didn't get a question in during the Facebook Lives, no problem. You can hit me up on Facebook, send me a message, Twitter or Instagram, answering all of your weather and traffic questions. And so just let me know if you have anything. A lot of what we've been talking about this morning has mostly been that drive. A lot of people trying to either drive to Wyoming, out to the airport. So it's been good to see that at least our drive, for the most part, better than expected for a morning like this.
A basketball star and a chemical engineer. Say what? We introduced you to a girl who was balancing it all.
And you're looking live at the city of Denver.
down south, as I've been saying, some of the best snow today will be in the wet mountains and then down toward Levita Pass. The rest of us are on the tail end, the downward slide from this snow. And again, we've had over 10 inches at Genesee, over 7 inches in Loveland. That's Loveland, the city, not the ski area. And we've had over 11 inches at the National Weather Service office in Boulder. So it's been pretty impressive in a few spots. Teens, 20s, east, Front Range, mountains, and west. We're all cold. 18 downtown today as the sun starts creeping out here during the morning. Clears out completely this evening, and it's cold. We're going to be hovering a couple of degrees either side of zero. Tomorrow, sunny, and it gets windy, especially in the afternoon. Then we have another system coming in that brings us clouds Thursday and some snow on Friday.
This morning's drive. So eastbound 6th Avenue, certainly still seeing problems out there. Now it looks like they might be blocking not just one, but potentially 2 lanes, pushing folks out onto the left shoulder there. But this is eastbound 6th and Sheridan, where a car fire is still in place. They're trying to get that out, get the car moved out of the way, but causing some fairly big delays for us this morning. Also causing some delays is an accident along the Boulder Turnpike, now in the clearing stages, but was blocking the left lane at westbound 36th and Flatiron Crossing. That was causing some slower speeds as you're headed out from Denver into Boulder. A crash at eastbound I-70 and 76. You can see the red through there, causing some light delays for us. Volume, fortunately, has not been that much, so the delay's not too extensive at this point. Eastbound I-70 from 6 to I-25 running 15 minutes with those speeds averaging 48 miles per hour. On the east side of I-25, that's an 11-minute drive for eastbound I-70. 6th Avenue, there you go, 18 minutes because of that car fire from Golden into Denver with speeds at 28 miles per hour. And it'll take you 15 minutes to travel C-470 from Santa Fe to I-25.
Becky, thank you for that. Balancing school, work, and athletics is tough for any student athlete.